to coast. Every culture, every angle. This is Arise America.
And one of the potential challengers in the 2020 presidential election, Elizabeth Warren, has weighed in on the Trump impeachment issue. The Democratic senator said the man in the Oval Office must obey the law too.
This is a man who would break the law repeatedly. And now it appears that is exactly what he has done. He doesn't feel himself bound. He feels that he can use the tools of government to enrich himself personally and for his own political gain.
Well, Arise correspondent Eric Ham joins us now from Washington to discuss the latest developments in the U.S. Capitol. Well, Eric, we're a day away from the historic impeachment proceedings. What's the temperature like in Washington in the aftermath?
Yeah, well, yesterday was a pretty revealing day in terms of the first impeachment proceedings into President Donald Trump. And what we're taking away from this is it was not a good day either for President Donald Trump or the Republicans. You had two witnesses who were unflappable, who brought an enormous amount of credibility and heft to this hearing. You had two decorated career public service officials who were unflappable, who offered not only revealing testimony, particularly in the information that was provided by Ambassador William Taylor, but also the level of detail and the note-taking that we saw from these officials. And of course, the questioning from both sides, not only the members, but the staff attorneys in terms of the questioning that they were asking and where they were trying to go. What we're seeing is that basically the White House did not have a good day, and it appears as though the Republicans are attempting to try to deflect, make these impeachment hearings all about the former two-term president Joe Biden and less about this issue of bribery and extortion. And that's another issue that we're seeing take place from these hearings. It seems as though the Democrats have honed in on a message on an issue that they want to focus on: bribery and extortion. You saw yesterday in those hearings, members from the Democratic side come back to those two key words over and over and over. And so what you're seeing here is you're seeing Democrats who are playing to the American public, to those who are watching in their living rooms, whereas Republicans appear to be playing to an audience of one, and that's the president.
Now, there was new information that came out of the hearing yesterday with a new witness scheduled for tomorrow. What's the latest on that?
Sure. This was a bombshell. Now, typically what you expect is these hearings have already been planned out. They've already been rehearsed. And what you're seeing take place on television is something that we already typically know the answers to. The questions have already been written up, and the witnesses know the questions. Typically, the questioners even know the answers from the witnesses. However, we got something new and revealing yesterday, that there was an actual witness who witnessed Ambassador Gordon Sondland, the EU ambassador, speaking directly to President Donald Trump on a cell phone in Kiev. There's so much information to unpack there. But what we do know is that David Holmes, the staffer to Ambassador William Taylor, who testified yesterday, he will actually be sitting for a closed-door deposition tomorrow before the House impeachment inquiry. So we know that tomorrow on tap is Masha Yovanovitch, the ousted ambassador to the Ukraine from the United States, will testify publicly behind closed doors. The committee will hear from that witness, David Holmes, who Ambassador Taylor says actually heard President Donald Trump on the phone with Gordon Sondland talking about investigations into the Bidens and what role the president of Ukraine would take publicly to announce these investigations.
From coast to coast, every culture, every angle. This is Arise America.